hard to say my relationship with God is number one. But your relationship with God needs to be number one, because if your relationship with God is number one, then all other relationships will adhere to that. If your relationship with God is number one, then when your relationship with Him is good, all your other relationships are good. When your relationship with Him is good, then the relationships that are bad improve. So your relationship with God has to be number one. You have to do what you have to do to make it number one. The second main idea is knowing that the external is subject to the internal. What this means is input equals output. Essentially, if I have to elaborate even more, it means that whatever you want in the physical world, you first must reflect on what you're doing internally. Like for me, a good example is me. I barely got my driver's license in July. Barely, July 20th. Barely. What's funny is I failed the exam a week earlier. But I went in there on July 13th. It was Friday 13th, so it was bad luck anyway. When I went in there on July 13th, internally, I was not demanding excellence. Internally, I wasn't demanding excellence. And because I wasn't demanding excellence, that's part of the reason why I failed. But when I failed that week, I was depressed the whole week leading up to July 20th. And I was like, I'm not going to walk out of here without getting this license. I was like, it's about to be the end right here. I walked in there, and then internally I demanded excellence in terms of my driving capabilities. And I walked out of there passing the driver's test. So that's basically what I'm trying to say. The internal, like another good example that everybody can relate to is if you try to talk to somebody, like if you try, especially women, because women want confidence. So if you try to talk to somebody, no man is gonna get a girl. Like let's say your objective is to kiss a girl. You're not gonna succeed in kissing a girl if you don't have confidence. Confidence is very important. I don't know how it is, but when we try to talk to men, I just know we try to talk to women. That's another good example. So next main idea. Others must gain. You must make sure that others gain the same level of faith as you, or strive to make their faith greater. You want to put yourself around people who have the same faith as you, or have a greater faith. Because if you're faith driven, your faith cannot get greater if you're around people whose faith is lower than yours. You need to surround yourself around people who are either the same as you, faith-based, or greater. That way you can gain better results. It's just like somebody's an alcoholic. If you're an alcoholic and you're trying to become sober, why would you allow yourself when you're sober to be around people that are alcoholics? Because if you do that, you're not going to become sober overall. So that's basically what I'm trying to get at with that main idea. The fourth one is endure until the end joyfully. If you look at this essentially means perseverance. Endure until the end joyfully. You want to endure because there are a lot of things that come your way. And I guess a good example is sports. Like me, I was a track and field runner. And when you're running, you have to endure exhaustion, you have to endure pain, and everything that comes your way if you want to win the race. You got to go through all of that in order to win the race. If you're a basketball player, you got to endure all that exhaustion, pain, etc., in order to win that basketball game. If your mission is to gain a stronger faith so that you and God can become one, which is what the Death Ideology teaches, you need to endure all of that so that you can get what you want. Just like us, we're in college. We're enduring all these test papers, all these social pressures, professional pressures, etc., so that we can get our college degree ultimately when we graduate. And you want to be joyful, because if you don't endure joyfully, like if you endure and you're mad all the time, eventually you're going to decide, I don't want to endure anymore. If you endure and you're joyful, you have a good attitude, you will continue to endure. The fifth main idea is remembering that God is always testing you. Like I was in that last Bible study, and actually kind of touched on this a little bit. Realizing that every temptation that comes your way is God's test. God is testing you to see if you have grown, to see if you are prepared to move to the next level. If you know that God is testing you, whenever a temptation is coming your way, you're going to be able to take that test and challenge yourself to overcome that test so that your faith can get stronger. And the last main idea out of the six is respecting God through your words and actions. What that means is, if you truly respect God through your words and actions, that means that when you're talking to people and doing things with people, you're acknowledging that you're doing something that Jesus would do. Like if somebody pissing you off and you cuss them out, like Jesus would never cuss somebody out. That's just like one example. There are many examples. You want to make sure that when you're talking to somebody and treating somebody a certain way, that it's in accord with what Jesus would do. And those are basically the 6 main ideas. We went over the whole 5 parts of the death ideology. If I had to say what is the most important thing out of death ideology, I would say it's the 8 actions of faith. Because right now, like none of you